Extrovert sensing, say, the now channel. Expanded core definition. What is say really? Extrovert sensing, say, is a perceiving function and its entire job is to register what is real now. It doesn't interpret or project like NI or reframe like NE. It doesn't store or compare like see. It just experiences directly, immediately, fully. Say is tuned to the raw data of the environment, sights, sounds, tastes, rhythms, physical energy. It responds to what is, not what might be or what should be. Where NI sees symbols, say sees shape, color, motion. Where 5 feels internal resonance, say feels the pressure of the moment and instinctively acts. The mechanics of say. Immediate perception. Processes what is currently happening with no delay or abstraction. Tactile cognition. Reads space, objects, bodies, and stimuli with lightning speed. External precision. Notices subtle shifts, opportunities, or threats in the real world. Impulse action link. Doesn't decide so much as respond instinctively based on environment. Say is rooted in embodiment. It's not about thinking through the world, it's about moving through it. Say compared to other functions. Function. Focus. Relation to time. Preferred data.
Say.
Real-time sensory input. Present moment. What is happening?
Ni.
Internal symbols/patterns. Long-range/future. What could be?
Ne.
External ideas/possibilities. Multi-future branching. What might be imagined?
Si.
Internal memory/patterns. Past/present comparison. What has been? If an eye watches from a mountain peak, say is already in the street, running with the crowd, tasting the air. Core gifts of say. Presence. Lives in the now with full awareness. Crisis responsiveness. Thinks on its feet. Literally reacts with calm under pressure. Aesthetic precision. High awareness of color, light, texture, style, rhythm. Physical coordination. Kinesthetic intelligence. Dancers, athletes, fighters, actors. Bravery and realism. Will confront reality head-on instead of avoiding it. Say types don't flinch from life, they move toward it, engage with it, test it, and trust their senses over speculation. Real-world manifestation when healthy. Performing arts, actors who embody emotion, comedians with perfect timing, dancers in flow. Tactical roles, athletes, first responders, stunt performers, bodyguards, quick reflexes, real-world mastery. Design and style. Fashion, architecture, interior design, photography, say captures what feels right in physical space. Entrepreneurship, sales, branding, innovation, high risk, high reward fields thrive on say's boldness and reactivity. Sensory healing, body-based therapists, massage workers, or even sensual partners who read energy nonverbally. Shadow tendencies of say. When imbalanced or underdeveloped. Overindulgence, addictive pleasure-seeking, risk-taking for stimulation. Avoidance of depth, rejecting emotional or abstract complexity. Impulse, foresight, making decisions too quickly without long-term strategy. Aggression or overstimulation, flooded by unfiltered stimuli, can become reactive or volatile. Candle, emotional tone of say. Alert, energetic, assertive. Often expresses emotion through action, not verbal reflection. May struggle to go inward unless balanced by strong introverted functions. Not easily overwhelmed by what-ifs, instead, deals with what's here. Subconscious questions say asks all day. What's happening right now? What can I do with this? Where's the opening? What feels real in this moment? What's changing and how do I move with it? Say doesn't ponder reality. It rides it like a wave. Metaphor. Say is the open window during a thunderstorm, taking in the smell of rain, the rumble of sky, the flash of light. It doesn't wonder what it means. It just feels it. Fully. Or, Say is the race car driver's body, hands making micro-adjustments before the mind catches up. It doesn't analyze. It responds. Summary. Extrovert sensing is the function of now embodiment. It teaches us to come back to our senses, to take the leap, to feel the moment without spinning away from it. When matured, say types can be grounded warriors of presence, bold, aesthetic, intuitive in action, and fully alive in the raw moment of truth. Energetic vibe of extrovert sensing. Say, subtitle, how say feels, moves, and expresses itself internally. The feeling tone of say from the inside. To live with strong say is to be awake in the body, alert to the moment, and wired into the rhythm of life as it unfolds. Say doesn't speculate or recall, it responds, directly and instinctively, to what is happening right now. Say feels like the exact moment a punch lands, a note drops, or a wave hits. The thrum of adrenaline when your reflexes take over. The full color and texture of the world, unfiltered. The freedom of action without overthinking. Say isn't conceptual, it's kinesthetic and concrete. It doesn't want to explain the world. It wants to touch it, test it, live it. Where NI withdraws to synthesize symbols, say presses into reality with its whole being, not to control it, but to meet it fully. Energetic qualities of say. Immediate and responsive, doesn't hesitate or rehearse, it moves with what's real. Tactile and present, notices detail through physical engagement, color, sound, speed, space. Bold and direct, drawn toward challenge, intensity, and sensation. Aesthetic, tuned into physical style, visual beauty, athleticism, and spatial flow. Instinctive, often skips intellectual filtering in favor of just do it wisdom. Action calibrated, emotions are often processed through movement, not through talk. Typical expressions of say. Flow in action, feeling most yourself when dancing, running, building, performing, or moving through space. Crisis clarity, responding faster in emergencies than you knew was possible, zero hesitation. Sensory attunement, sensing someone's body language shift, a tone change, or a detail others miss. Risk-taking, craving the edge whether in sport, debate, entrepreneurship, or style. Impulse execution, this feels right, so I'm doing it, followed by immediate engagement. When say is in flow, the world feels vibrant, real, and charged with opportunity. You respond with confidence, without overthinking. You lead with presence, people trust your instincts. You take action with clarity and adjust dynamically as you go. When say is blocked or distorted, you may become reckless, seeking stimulation just to feel alive. You might resist rest or reflection, fearing stillness as weakness. You could disregard consequences in the thrill of the now. You may dominate space or become aggressive if emotionally dysregulated. Inner world quote, imagined by say. Why wait? You only learn by doing, and you can't feel it until you're in it. Metaphor. Say is like a dancer mid-leap, trusting muscle memory, timing, and the floor to catch them. Or it's the red of a ripe strawberry, the click of a well-timed photograph, the spark that catches the fuse, no theory, just this moment, right now. Say isn't chaos. It's clarity in motion, full contact with the real. Cognitive roles of extrovert sensing. Say, by stack position subtitle, how say expresses itself as dominant, auxiliary, tertiary, and inferior. Say as first function, the dominant, sensory conductor. Role, reality tracker, live responder, physical flow navigator. Energetic feel, life is immediate, vibrant, and meant to be touched. Every second is raw data. Behavioral patterns, highly attuned to changes in the environment. Engages with the world through action, movement, and perception. Typical strengths, crisis response, sensory clarity, performance under pressure, aesthetic refinement, spontaneity. Risk/distortion, impulsiveness, stimulation chasing, boredom intolerance, detachment from inner depth or long-term vision. Types with dominant say, ESTP, ESFP, and say-driven stacks like say, T, say, Phi. Why think about it forever? Step in, try it, and adjust in real time. Say as second function, the auxiliary, present moment stabilizer. Role, real-time enhancer to introverted cognition, grounding theory in action. Energetic feel, keeps dominant introversion connected to the world. Offers immediacy, momentum, and a sense of what's real now. Behavioral patterns, anchors abstract or emotional frameworks with evidence, reaction, or direct engagement. Typical strengths, performance tuning, live feedback, decisive adaptability, sensory detail. Risk/distortion, may chase stimulation or reject introspection too early, can overprioritize outer world over inner signals. Example pairings, Ni, say, silent strategist, T, say, realist technician, Phi, say, embodied feeler. It's not enough to understand it, you have to feel it in your body. Say as third function, the tertiary, pleasure portal/disruption reflex. Role, self-soothing sensor, creative escape hatch, aesthetic channel. Energetic feel, comfort in physical experience, eating, dancing, styling, flirting, designing, acting. Tapped more for enjoyment than survival. Behavioral patterns, may seek sensory reward after inner strain. Used for fun, stress relief, or energetic reset. Typical strengths, embodied creativity, fashion sense, physical grounding, kinetic humor. Risk/distortion, can form escapist loops with dominant introverted functions, e.g., Phi, say, Ni, say, leading to self-indulgence, avoidance of inner truth, or dramatic swings between stillness and thrill-seeking. Example pairings, Phi, say, sensual idealist, Ni, say, symbolic responder, T, say, tactile thinker. I just needed to move, to touch, taste, express. That's how I come back to myself. Say as fourth function, the inferior, hidden instinct/shadow body. Role, repressed sensory engagement, suppressed action confidence, gateway to presence. Energetic feel, may feel disconnected from the body or the present. Say in this position often emerges in surprising, even chaotic bursts. Behavioral patterns, ignores real-time data until overwhelmed. May delay action, resist being seen, or become hyperreactive when pushed into visibility. Typical strengths, when integrated intuition becomes action, presence, embodiment, aesthetic confidence, responsiveness. Risk/distortion, clumsiness, fear of mistakes, paralysis before action, sudden thrill chasing as overcompensation.
Exemple pairins, ni fetosse, inefege, finitosse, idealist drummer.
Sometimes I don't know how to be here, but when I am, it's like waking up. Summary. Say brings presence, alertness, and raw embodiment to cognition, but its role shapes its expression. As a dominant, it leads the charge with reality. As an auxiliary, it grounds abstract minds in action. As a tertiary, it entertains and restores through sensation. As an inferior, it wakes you up to the world you forgot to feel. Say teaches that wisdom is not always in theory. Sometimes, it's in the feel of the ground beneath your feet, now. Say strengths profile subtitle, the powers of extrovert sensing in presence, precision, and responsive action. Core strengths of Say. 1. Real-time awareness. Say is the master of the now. It perceives the present moment with high-resolution clarity, tuned to detail, movement, and timing. I see it. I feel it. I respond to it before it even finishes arriving. 2. Sensory immersion. Say doesn't just observe, it enters the experience. It tastes, touches, hears, and reacts with instinctual immediacy. 3. Physical responsiveness. Whether in sports, dance, driving, or hands-on work, Say operates at the speed of instinct. It thrives in kinetic, dynamic settings. 4. Environmental adaptability. Say can pivot fast. It notices small changes and adjusts in real time, which makes it naturally agile and situationally sharp. 5. Aesthetic and style sensitivity say has a refined eye for design, beauty, performance, and visual detail. It often gravitates toward fashion, photography, or athletic expression. 6. Presence under pressure when others freeze or analyze, say acts. It often shines in crises, performing best under high stakes or high-speed conditions. 7. Directness and honesty say cuts through abstraction. It speaks clearly, acts directly, and calls things as they are, not as they might be. 8. Energy generation strong say users often energize a room. Their presence is palpable. They embody momentum, decisiveness, and activation. 9. Embodied intelligence say doesn't just process through thoughts, it processes through movement, sensation, and action. Its wisdom lives in the body. 10. Bold experience-seeking say craves vividness. It pursues life, color, challenge, and intensity not recklessly, but because it feels fully alive when immersed. Summary. Extrovert sensing brings sharp perception, embodied courage, and kinetic brilliance into cognition, anchoring the abstract into real-world action. Say is the sensorial warrior, the dancer in the storm, the tactile truth-teller. Its strength lies in clarity without theory, movement without delay, and feeling the real now. Say shadow and distortions profile subtitle, the shadows of extrovert sensing, when presence becomes escape. What happens when say distorts? Extrovert sensing, say, is a radiant force of presence, responsiveness, and embodiment. But in shadow, say becomes impulsive, overstimulated, restless, and driven by sensation rather than awareness. Shadow say isn't fully in the moment. It's chasing the next one, desperate to feel alive while losing sight of direction. Core distortions of say. 1. Sensation-chasing shadow say seeks stimulation at all costs. Food, sex, movement, adrenaline, anything to stay on. Stillness feels like death. If I stop moving, I'll feel too much or nothing at all. 2. Impulsivity and reactionary behavior instead of responding mindfully. Shadow say reacts fast, loud, and unfiltered. It may lash out, jump in, or say yes too quickly, then regret it. 3. Detachment from inner world shadow say avoids introspection. The inner world is murky, slow, and full of pain, so it clings to outer activity instead of turning inward. 4. Over-identification with image looks, style, vibe, performance. Shadow say may become obsessed with being seen, even if it sacrifices authenticity. 5. Inability to delay gratification. Shadows say wants what it wants now. It struggles with patience, planning, or resisting temptation, often trading short-term pleasure for long-term well-being. 6. Discomfort with intimacy. Say thrives on immediate connection, but in shadow, it resists emotional depth. Touch replaces tenderness. Presence replaces vulnerability. Shadow pairings and loops. Say, T-loop, uses logic to justify impulsivity. Doesn't process emotion, just acts and analyzes afterward. Over-relies on cleverness and reflex. Say, Phi spiral, acts from raw feeling without processing. May overindulge, explode emotionally, or self-soothe through reckless behavior. Say, Ni grip, swings from high-intensity presence to dark, paranoid future casting. I feel alive now, but doom is coming. Fog emotional signs of shadow. Say, you crave stimulation but feel hollow after getting it. You say yes too quickly and regret it later. You avoid silence, solitude, or stillness. You feel emotionally flat unless something extreme is happening. You fear being alone with your thoughts. Healing and integration suggestions. Reconnect with Ni. Ask, what's the long arc here? Slow down and notice what you're really moving toward. Practice moments of stillness not as punishment, but as restoration. Replace rush with rhythm. Let your senses nourish, not distract. Use your body as an instrument of awareness, not avoidance. Remind yourself, depth is not the enemy of vitality, it's the root of it. Summary. Healthy say brings vibrancy, presence, and embodiment. Shadow say brings chaos disguised as freedom. Its strength becomes distortion when experience replaces meaning and motion replaces growth. Say heals when it pauses long enough to feel and learns that aliveness doesn't come from chasing more, but from receiving what's already here. You don't need to outrun silence. Sometimes, stillness is where the real thrill lives. Say development practices subtitle, Cultivating Presence, Responsiveness, and Embodied Confidence with Extrovert Sensing. Why say development matters? Extrovert sensing, say, is the function of real-time awareness, tuned into the present, the body, and the visible world. When underused, people may feel disembodied, dissociated, or disconnected from what's actually happening around them. When overused, say can become impulsive, overstimulated, or addicted to thrill over meaning. To develop say is to awaken to now not through force, but through sensation, participation, and embodied trust. If say is underused and you want to strengthen it, signs you're underusing say. You live mostly in your head or in the future. You feel clumsy, disconnected from your body, or unaware of your surroundings. You avoid real-time feedback or hands-on engagement. Development practices. Sensory awareness walks take 15 minutes daily to walk without headphones. Name what you see, hear, smell, feel in real time. Stay in your senses. Embodied movement practice dance, stretch, lift, or flow not for performance, but for feeling. Reconnect mind and body. Object presence meditation. Pick one object, e.g., a stone, a cup, and explore it with all 5 senses. Describe it aloud or write a poem about it. Interactive play. Play a fast-paced physical game, improv scene, or a live performance, anything requiring reaction and presence. Taste and texture exploration. Try new foods slowly. Describe the textures, flavors, and reactions. Bring mindfulness into indulgence. Mirror engagement. Stand before a mirror and really see yourself. Not to critique, but to notice. You're here. You exist. If say is overused and you need to balance it. Signs of say overuse. You jump into action before considering long-term consequences. You seek constant stimulation or distraction. You avoid reflection or meaning-making. Balancing practices. An eye anchoring, symbol and pattern depth. Pause to ask, what might this mean long-term? Let insight slow the impulse. Reflection rituals before bed. Journal 3 things you noticed and what they meant to you. Bring depth into perception. Stillness challenges. Spend 10 to 20 minutes doing nothing. Not meditating, not scrolling, just sitting with the moment. Sensation filtering. Limit input. 1 tab, 1 task, 1 conversation. Train say to focus, not just react. Mindful restraint practices. When an urge arises, to buy, reply, consume, wait 10 seconds. Ask, is this aligned with what I want to become? Slow art engagement. Spend time with a single image, film scene, or a live moment. Let it reveal, not just stimulate. Advanced integration practices. Embodied archetype roleplay. Move as your inner warrior, lover, sage. Let body inform psyche. Photographic awareness. Capture moments of beauty or shadow in your environment, then interpret them symbolically. Real-time storytelling. Narrate your experience as it happens. Now I feel the breeze. Now I sense caution. Connect awareness to meaning. Sensory anchoring objects. Keep a grounding object with texture/scent/sound to reconnect when overwhelmed. Summary. Healthy say brings power, clarity, and aliveness to the moment. Shadow say craves escape from anything that slows it down. To develop say is to arrive, fully, in your skin, your breath, your world. It strengthens not through noise, but through notice, when you stop long enough to feel what's here and let that matter. You don't need to chase the next thrill. You're already living the moment that matters.